Hello YouTube, it's Stein here with Hobbies of Men once again, and today we are doing another manga review. Today we are reviewing Hokkaido Gals. They're super adorable, volumes 3 and 4. I have previously done a review for volumes 1 and 2, which you can watch right there if you would like. And yeah, I mean, Hokkaido Gals are super adorable. It's written by Kai Ikada, and the demographic here is shonen. It's published by Shueisha through the Manga Plus app or Manga Jump Plus app. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the Shueisha app that you can read some stuff on. It's not that many things besides Shonen Jump stuff, but there are a few kind of hidden gems there that you can read for free, which is pretty nice. I like it. The genre here are rom-com and slice of life. There's a certain element of like drama, like it's not really a soap opera kind of feeling thing, but I mean, almost. It has that kind of like vibe of like this interesting kind of like love triangle thing. You could almost say that Tsubasa, the main character, or the main male character, is essentially a harem protagonist, and that there's this kind of element of harem around here. But I don't know. I think the romance aspects are played pretty straight. It's not really kind of that like weird kind of thing. But I mean, it's good, and it has a lot of interesting kind of like enjoyable genres that you know a lot of people like. So yeah, adaptations wise, this does not have one, and it also doesn't have a physical release in English at least. You can only read it through the app, and I really wish we had a physical release, but I mean, it's a Shueisha thing, and it's probably something that would be released by Viz, but Viz doesn't like releasing stuff like this, so like I doubt we'll ever get one, unless like 7 Seas decides to pick it up, which is very unlikely. So yeah, this is probably going to stay digital only forever, which kind of sucks. And yeah, the premise here is basically continuing on from the end of volume 2. Tsubasa's time in Hokkaido and his friendships are kind of in jeopardy, in danger, because his grandmother, a rather strict old lady, is requiring him to do his best on his test and to get top 10 in the school. Like, out of everyone that takes the test in his year, he has to be the top 10, or he's going to get shipped back to Tokyo because his grandma's, like, expecting a lot out of him. And so he recruits the help of his senpai, Rena, which is the female character that we met at the end of Volume 2, who kind of, like, provides this kind of interesting aspect, this kind of melodrama slash tension between the characters that I think is very nice. I actually quite enjoy it. So yeah, the plot here continues to be good. The school setting is still the general idea, the general focus, but it mostly deals with the exams and then with spring break, and which is not the same as here. Spring break is essentially the same as summer break to them, if I remember correctly. And there's the start of year 2, which is the second year of high school for Tsubasa and Minami and Sayuri, right? And there's a big developments on the romance and the interpersonal relationships between all of the characters. Tsubasa and Minami have this development of their personal relationship, which I think is very cute and very meaningful. But it kind of opens up this kind of idea that, you know, things might start to get difficult from here on out. And I really liked it. I think there was a very nice kind of like slight plot twist there that provided this very high stakes kind of like situation for Tsubasa that then didn't end up being as high stakes as he thought, but that provided a lot of information for the reader and for the characters, which I thought was really good. In terms of Sayuri, we also get this kind of like bait and switch kind of thing, but it's a little bit different. It's about Sayuri specifically, not necessarily her relationship with Tsubasa, but it does lead into this understanding that we kind of already had, that, you know, there's something more going on there from Sayuri's side, and that she kind of is unsure how to proceed, what to do with herself. And then the whole idea of Rena and Tsubasa spending a lot of time together kind of develops this tension between them, and between Tsubasa, Minami, and Sayuri, which I thought was very good, very enjoyable. I kind of like these stories in the harem rom-com type of stuff that kind of deal with a lot more realistic situations. Maybe a lot of girls are not going to like the same, like, what's it called, basic normal guy, but like there's definitely situations where like there's these weird crushes that kind of get out of control and turn into these odd, like, bickering, petty high school drama situations, and that's basically what's happening here, which I think is kind of interesting. I like it. I think it's kind of cool, or maybe not cool. I think it's slightly more enjoyable than the general shonen rom-com that is just kind of like really ridiculous, and it deals with a lot of miscommunication. This isn't really based on miscommunication. This is more based on individual people having feelings, which I think is slightly better. Maybe it's not necessarily different, but like it feels a little bit different to me. So yeah, characters wise, good stuff. I basically already mentioned everything that happens, but basically Tsubasa grows, and we are shown, sorry, that Tsubasa cares about all of the girls that he's friends with, but we don't necessarily know how he cares about them. And that's kind of like the whole kind of idea that's going on right now. It's how does Tsubasa care about each girl, and how do they care about him in return, and what sort of situation is going to happen due to these feelings, right? And I like it. I think it's good. I enjoy Tsubasa because he kind of gets a little bit more introspective, and he starts to kind of think about himself and others, and what he means to other people, and what other people mean to him, and how he doesn't want to go away from Hokkaido. He has found a place where he belongs, where he is happy, and he doesn't want it to go away yet. He doesn't want it to change, which, is maybe something that does happen to some of us in high school that is inevitably going to change because high school ends and then you have to go on with your life, right? Which is kind of interesting. I really enjoy this. This might seem like it's going to turn into something rather meaningful, which I'm really excited about. Hopefully, it lasts for a little bit longer. I don't know how long it's going to go for, but I mean, maybe the 10-volume series would be pretty nice. Yeah, and then Minami wise, I think there's a lot of growth here with her. She started out as a very basic gal, just, very ditzy, airhead, very cute, very enjoyable to be around, but kind of like maybe not that special. But then we kind of learn that she is kind of special. She realizes that people try a lot harder than, everyone else kind of seems to notice. And she has this kind of great energy about her that just makes everyone happy. She kind of changes the atmosphere and makes everyone feel accepted. And it's so meaningful and so encouraging and so beautiful to see and to enjoy. And I really like it. And we get to see this kind of like love for her friends, but maybe it's a little bit more than that with Tsubasa, which kind of adds to the rom-com stuff. I like it a lot. With Sayuri, we kind of get this growth of self-confidence. We get to see Sayuri start to come out of her shell and kind of grow as an individual and understand that she doesn't have to be alone and that she can want things beyond what she is used to. And I like it a lot. I think she's very cool. Her whole kind of issue with like sweating a lot kind of went away. We haven't really touched it much, but we also haven't been able to see Sayuri very often. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Like that was like the key plot point that got her and Tsubasa to meet each other. So I don't know if that's going to like go away because it was only relevant so they could meet, or what's going on. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't necessarily care about her sweating or not. I just think it was kind of weird that it was kind of evaded or kind of removed and went away for some reason. And I'm curious to see if it's going to come back. And yeah, in terms of Rena, I like her a lot. She's a very sad character. She is a very kind of like traditional hime, like beautiful traditional Japanese girl kind of archetype. But she also is kind of sad and has problems as an individual because her parents are not very good parents. Like they're not what's it called? Empathic. They don't really treat their child with a lot of love and care, and so she's kind of basically very lonely. And we get to see this kind of amazing bit of happiness at being what's it called? Liked for being who she is from Minami, right? And I like it a lot. I think she's a very cute character, very interesting, and she's kind of pretty meaningful, right? I mean, I don't necessarily think I've ever felt the way she does, but I think that what she feels is that something that, you know, we can appreciate, because even if it's not from your parents, there might have been a point where you felt underappreciated by your friends or by people around you, and you kind of like didn't know why it was happening. And I think it's very meaningful, right? So I think it's cool. I think that these characters are a lot deeper than they seem, surface level, but I like them a lot. World building wise, I mean, it's not really a series that has world building. However, it does have a lot of information and setting building in terms of like telling you stuff about Hokkaido, which is like the whole kind of point of the story to a certain extent. Like, it's part of one of its features. Like, from the very beginning of the series, it's been like, hey, there's cute girls. Hey, there's this rom-com thing. Hey, we're going to teach you about Hokkaido along the way, which is very cool. I like it a lot. I think it's very fun. But really, there's not much anything else. There's some food things. We get to learn about some special Hokkaido meals. And we get to learn about some special Hokkaido places. But that's par for the course for the series. So there's nothing really extra to talk about there. Art-wise, I think it's very good. I love it. I can consistently enjoy looking at these panels. And I think the character design is very nice. The kind of style of it is a little odd. Like, I think it has the right proportions, and I think it has a good bit of style, but I don't know what type of style. It doesn't feel very well-rounded, but it doesn't also feel very scratchy and angular. It's somewhere in between, in a very nice middle ground that I like a lot. It's very wholesome, I guess, is the right way to describe it. It like ends up having this very nice feeling to it that I really enjoy, and it fits very nicely with the series. Besides that, the fan service, I think, is kind of toned down this pair of volumes. Maybe I just didn't notice it as much, but there's definitely less fan service than in the first 2 volumes. And I think that's because the story's starting to get a little bit more serious, and there hasn't been that many opportunities to have fan service. But I mean, that might change. We get this kind of situation where like Tsubasa's helping some girls learn to swim better, so we might get a lot more like swimsuit type of situations. We do get a bath scene or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like we do get some fan service. It's just not as much as I thought there would be based on volumes 1 and 2. But I mean, the stuff that we did get was pretty nice, and I did like it. But I mean, there is some, so if you don't like that type of stuff, don't read this. I mean, you probably wouldn't have watched this review if you hadn't read the first 2 volumes anyways. So, I don't know. Hope you guys kind of figure that out for yourselves. I just talk about the fan service because I know some people don't like it, and I know some people do like it, and so I want to kind of like mention it for those people so that I can tell you, hey, this has fan service or not, and you know, you can make your choices based on that. Rating wise, I think this is a 5 out of 5. It continues to do everything well. I really do enjoy it. And the 5 here out of 5 isn't really necessarily because it's super well written or it has all of the elements of good storytelling that I need, but rather because it's so enjoyable and it's so relaxing, and I love it a lot. It just has these great vibes to it that remind me of Komi and kind of Dress Up Darling that I really like a lot. So it makes me very happy, even if it's not like the best written thing ever. So a 5 out of 5, purely based on enjoyment. Okay, so that's basically it for me. I do recommend this title. I think you guys should read it if you enjoyed the first volume. I mean, it's basically free, so you really don't lose anything for trying it. Just download the app. I think you have to make an account, and then you can just read it. All of the chapters are free. You don't have to do anything extra to get any kind of like tokens or anything to get chapters. It's just all freely available for you. And you don't really lose anything for trying it. I think every chapter is about 25 pages. A little bit more than that, I think maybe 30. They're not very long, but they're not that short either. They're a very nice, comfortable length. And yeah, similar titles I think would be Komi, Rent a Girlfriend, Dress Up Darling, and stuff in that kind of vein. Komi is kind of like the odd one out, but the other 2 kind of really fit. It's about these guys in their late teens, kind of, or well, maybe kind of early, kind of like 16 to 20, right? Getting their lives turned upside down by this crazy, like, attractive, very interesting girl that kind of comes into their life, and kind of dealing with all of the aftermath of that. We get to learn about, like, them growing as individuals. We get to learn about the female characters as well along the way. They also grow as individuals. It's kind of like good stuff in that sense. I think Rent a Girlfriend is maybe not as much about that stuff as Dress Up Darling and Hokkaido Gals, but I mean, it's still kind of in that same vein. So I think those titles are pretty similar. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and see you guys later.